Good morning. Welcome back and thanks for joining me. It's Judy from Thistledew Creations, and today I want to decorate this little booklet that I have made up out of envelopes, junk mail or bank envelopes, and I've just glued it all together. So I've glued two envelopes together, leaving a pocket in the end, and then kept gluing them together, leaving those pockets in the end. So I'm going to be able to make tags to go in the pockets. And what I wanted to do today was to decorate each page of this little booklet. This is a great way to do a no-sew booklet. I do have another one that I have made and decorated, which I will show you. I'm going to show you a couple actually. So this is the first one I did, and it was off of a video. I will link the video in the description box if I can find it again. I think I can because I did another video where I linked it before. So this is the same thing, but this one's decorated and it has the tags in it. So you just decorate each page, adding whatever little junk journal elements you want to add. This one has like a fold out paper pad. Tucks in to a little spot. See, something needs to be glued. I think I made this before I started using tacky glue. And then some little things in behind this tuck spot. A little cardboard box that a jewellery cleaning rag came in. So again, look at your packaging before you throw it away. You might be able to include it in your junk journal. You might recognize some of the things. And then this one had a top pocket instead of an end pocket. There's a little tag stuck in there. There's a couple tags. Let me see what this one is. Sunflowers and cork. Might have to go back and put some tabs on those because you can't really see them very well. And another center out of a Kleenex box covered with napkin. So that's sort of what you get in the end, and I love the feel of this when it's all done and filled, and I put a fabric spine on it, and just so much fun to do. So I thought I would start the decorating of this one using some of this. Oh, and this isn't one I made at the same time, but I just covered in brown paper to someday decorate further, and I haven't got around to that yet. So maybe we'll do some of those this summer as well. But I thought I would start on this one, which I just glued up the other night. And I was going to use this sort of watery paper that's from Dollarama. It was $1.25 when I bought it, which was quite a while ago. Might be more now. But it's got these, they almost look like alcohol inks on the pages. I want to use that one for sure because it goes well with, oh, where's my papers? It'll go well with either one of these greens. I might use that one with it. So I've got these as accent papers that I can use in the journal as well. So I definitely want to use that one. There's also a coordinating polka dot that goes with that. I definitely want to use the purple one. And I can use the purple paper, but also this check. And then some pink. And the pink with hearts, which I just used the other day as well. That one isn't really the right color for me. Let's see how far this gets us. Okay, so for this, the cover, you could use one page and wrap right around like I did on those expanding pockets. But I do like the idea of the fabric spine to join the two different things together. So I'm going to definitely use some marble on the front. And you could use your ripple scissors, but I think I'm going to just cut these square. So I'm going to see how much of a border I want to leave. My pocket isn't quite even there, but that's okay. I'm going to leave that much of a border. That'll all be inked afterwards. So I'm going to cut here. I know you're not going to be able to see my mark. So that will go on there, and then I can cut it off anywhere here because I do plan to do the fabric on the spine. So that's going to be offcuts that I can use later in the project. Yeah, this way. And I'll use glue stick. Grab me a glue book. I have them and I gotta remember to use them. I'm getting quite a pile over here. Except for glue book. Pile of partly finished projects, if you can relate. So I go all over the back with the glue stick, and then just around the edges with the tacky glue, and then just a zigzag through the middle. That gives me a little wiggle room if I want to move it around to center it up. And my goal just is to cover this writing and to make it pretty. So that flops down just in the right spot. So this is going to be my cover. So I think I'm going to do the same paper on the back as well. I know there's another piece of it in here. And I think I have 2 of these books. There it is. So I didn't measure that. And I'm not going to measure this either. I'm going to just do the same thing with the pencil marks. Just pretty quick and easy. And it doesn't matter about this one so much. And notice I'm not inking this either. I'm going to ink around the edge to cover the white of the envelope after, so it'll get a little bit of ink then. So I'm really just worried about this, and this looking kind of even. It doesn't have to be exact. So that's my cover. And then this doesn't really have an up and down yet because all the pockets are in the end. So on that other one I had some of the pockets were in the top, and I wouldn't want them in the bottom, I'd want them in the top. But on this one it doesn't matter. So at this point it doesn't matter. Till you start putting words and stuff, right? Put that there. And then here I'll put, let's do from purple into pink. So let's put the hearts on this side and the alcohol ink look on that side, I think. I'm just making it up as I go. Actually, I'm going to have this, I'm going to do this. I've got my hearts, so the bottom of the heart is down. Cut that about there. Again, still leaving a bit of a border. And if you my pages aren't exactly lined up with the ones below, so I'm just gonna take them out of the way so I can see. And I'll put this here. And one thing I sometimes do with my glue books is I'll start in one corner and keep moving so that I'm not putting a fresh piece down on top of where there might be some glue. I try to do that, be intentional about it, but sometimes it doesn't always keep happening. So I'm lining this up right to the there. So that there, and then instead of cutting this one, I thought I would continue it across like so that I get all of this covered. And it also reinforces the spine a bit. So I want as much of that pink as I can get. So I'm not going to cut it there, I'm just going to cut it here. And do I want that lining up? I don't think I do. I think I want to try to have this just a little wider. We'll see how that works out. Might have to trim it again. I think that'll be okay. So again, I'm going to move up to this corner because it's gluey down here, and that might be off camera for you now, but I'll just keep moving where I'm gluing. Move that up for next time. And certainly the glue stick will glue it down for now, but eventually it's going to dry out and lift. So that's why I started using the tacky glue. Once my projects were hanging around long enough and I realized that they were going to start to lift, I thought, well, they need to be reinforced. But I do like the glue stick for getting something glued down like all over without it wrinkling too much. So you want to fold that and just make sure you got it right in there. And then I may come back and do like lace over the joints and things like that, or paper that's cut to look like lace over the joints would be something I would do. And then you can put a picture here, or this work can be where you write, or you can put a little notepad on top of this, maybe a little heart-shaped one or something. You can have all kinds of fun with it. So there's my outside cover again, opening up to the center now. I think this is the center of the book. Not quite, but it is. This is one full envelope here. You can see the flap is glued down. Not very well. And so then let's switch to the green, and we'll do the same sort of thing, but let's switch sides. So I'll cut this one to about here. Easy working with 6x6 papers. I like 6x6 papers a lot. I've collected a lot of 12x12s, and I don't like working with them as well because they're just so big and bulky for the small projects I do. But also, what was I thinking? I don't, they have bigger patterns sometimes too. Some of them are really way too big for what I do. But most of them I've bought yard sales, thrift stores. So I didn't hand pick the patterns. So I think going forward, I'm going to concentrate more on the 6x6 papers instead of trying to buy 12x12s unless I find something really pretty. I do find one thing that's good on the 12x12 sometimes is they'll have a whole page that's something you could cut out, like words or phrases, or like at Halloween I do pumpkins, and a lot of them were cut out of scrapbook paper, jack-o'-lanterns, skeletons. So this might end up being a series of maybe 3 or 4 videos where I make this. I'm kind of enjoying doing these quick little projects before I go to work on Wednesday, because I work 12 to 8. So I've found that I have time to get something done. I never used to even try to. I would just sleep in. Well, sleeping in nourishes me a little bit, but crafting nourishes me more when I've really already had enough sleep. So that's what I'm doing. Nourishing my soul. My job is creative. I'm a kitchen designer, but I've been doing it for so long that the creativity that I use at work is almost too easy now. I've been doing kitchens for over 35 years. So you kind of have done it all and seen it all, and it's just a matter of using that knowledge differently for each client. Whereas this, I'm doing something new every time I sit down, and I like that. Especially with doing the videos for you, I'm always trying to do something different for you, and it also feeds the need for me to do something different. You might see a few videos in a row where I make the same thing, but they're not identical projects. They're always a little different. Now let's go back, do pink and purple again. So this seem to be the colors I want to use, but actually maybe I'll switch to purple in the middle and then pink so that it's not purple, if that makes sense to you. So I got another pink one here. Do the back first. And let's see. Got that side, that side, that side. So this side. And maybe what I'll do here is do this a little different and do, because I have these strips, I'll do a strip at each end, maybe. I'm also always trying to figure out ways to not end up with so many scraps. So do this, and then put this paper in the center. And this is really just a colorful base. I'll end up adding a lot more elements to this to make it interesting. Make it more interesting. And on this one, I thought I would do it so that it has every tag that's in the end pockets will have something interesting hanging out, like a tab, a tassel, something, because I love that look. This is just paper. If it was more cardstock, I'd probably save it to make a pocket with. Use something else for my, well, I've already got pockets in this project, so I don't really need more pockets. I'm sorry if my lighting is a little dim. My ring light is dim for some reason, and I've ordered a new ring light replacement. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, which I'm home tomorrow, so hopefully I can get that switched and do some brighter filming. Hopefully these aren't too awful. videos that I made this morning. Had it for a full year, a little over a year, so it's done pretty good for how much I've used it. I try not to leave it on unless I'm filming. If I'm just working here by myself, I don't necessarily use it. I want that overlapping a little bit. Make sure that I get it tucked down in the crease there. And then we'll do the purple in the center here. And I've got those hearts going sideways and these ones going this way. Which way did I do these ones? This way. Sideways doesn't bother me. I'm just glad I didn't put those ones upside down. And then we need more purple. So I have, maybe on this one, I'll do strips of purple and then this in the middle. Just again, to kind of use up my scraps instead of just cutting another piece and making more scraps. It's going to be hard to see this line. Ending up with some little squares, which will be interesting to find a way to use them. Maybe tiny little folded envelopes or something. I also have the fan blowing on me just to keep myself relatively cool. It's a lot better today than it was yesterday, I tell you. It's like 28 degrees here yesterday. We do have a breeze where we live. It's always a breeze, seems like, but it was still very hot. We got to find the perfect place when we decide to move. We need the breeze, but we also need some shelter because although it's wonderful in the summertime, we hardly have a problem with bugs when the breeze is blowing as hard as it does up here. But in the winter, that breeze kills us. Makes the house so much harder to heat. I'm liking the way this is coming together a lot. So this one last piece will just need to be trimmed one direction. Ooh, that looks really crooked, doesn't it? Très crooked. Let's give it a fresh piece. Can't have that. There's like a denim-y blue for that too. There it is. Try this again. I'm not sure if it was how I cut it or maybe I was holding it crooked when I marked it. I didn't really check that. That's better. Still not perfect, but that's better. There's all kinds of ways I can hide that edge. So I'm trying to think what I'll call this project. No-sew envelope booklet, no-sew tag storage booklet, something like that. Because I'm obviously going to need more than one video to complete this project. And now that I've started it on video, I'll feel like I have to finish it on video. But that won't be a problem. It's short little segments if I break it up. A little wrinkle there. So one last thing is the spine. Let's figure out some fabric for the spine. And what have I got? As a recurring theme on all of them is sort of this brownish black. So let's see what I have. Should have something in here that'll work. That one pops out right away, is looking good with the purple. I could also do, because it's just going to show on the outside, I could do a blue. Yeah, I think that looks prettier to me. So I took apart the fabric sample books so that they're easier to use, easier to find a color when you want one. I think I'm going to go with that one. You don't get a lot of purples. It is upholstery fabric, so I think purple would be a rare choice, not non-existent, but a fairly rare choice. Now I need my pinking shears here. The pinking shears do not want to be found at the moment. So, will I just try to use, I think that's almost too wide if I do that. Maybe what I'll do is cut inside of this white paper that's reinforcing it. I wonder if I can get this to fray. Yeah, I can. Frayed works for me too. I do like the pinked edge. And then these strings can be saved for clusters. I don't know that I will this time. But if you're just starting to save things, save your strings. Okay, so a nice frayed edge. And then this fabric is firm enough that you can use the glue stick to get it glued all over. I don't really think this has a good and a bad side. Both sides look pretty good. But I am going to do a fairly thick layer of the glue stick. And the white glue. I try to leave the fraying. And then we're going to go part way onto the front, like that, and then around to the back. And that just really coordinates quite nicely with the blues that are mixed in with the purples here. And I will keep this scrap with my paper scraps that go with this, and I'll start a little project tray so that when I come back to do the next step of this decorating, I'll have these scraps to start with, and I'll probably end up using some of this colored lined paper to make little fold outs and stuff like that. So thank you very much for watching. Actually, let's do a flip through before I end it off. So we've got our cover. And again, I will be inking. I may decide to ink in a color instead of vintage photo. Just, we'll see. I might do some little samples for myself and see which I like better. But then the first page, we've got pinks, and then we've got greens, and then we've got purple, and then we've got pink again. So very cute so far. It's going to be interesting to see how it progresses. So do watch for the video series that we'll be doing on these. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. But most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.